Hello and welcome to Clipping In. It's Tuesday, the 29th of April. Got a cracker of a hilly ride in the Pennines today. The sun shines here, the landscape and scenery will definitely be here. Come on, let's get on with it. Yes, this route today will be around 66 miles and I'm guessing around 6,000 feet of climbing. You probably won't, no prizes for spotting Holme moss ahead. That's the first port of call. It has its roots in a tougher circuit I used to do in the old days that went Holme moss twice. And that used to be about 85 miles and somewhere over 8,000, but today's ride will be more than enough to be going on with. So I'm doing the classic route: Holme Bridge, Holme Village, Holme Moss. It was also the route of the Leeds Classic in the 90s, for those who remember that professional race. This morning, 17 Celsius at 9. Forecast says 22 or 23 Celsius by just after midday. So, by recent standards, it's a scorcher. Just to the left of screen, you can see those zigzag bends winding the way up the moss. Looks like a horse box coming down and a flatbed following. Approaching that rake section. Somewhere around half to 3/4 of a mile to go. Just taking it nice and steady. Bottom gear. Plenty of hills to come after this one. And there's the summit marker. 524 meters, 1,719 feet. No, you're all right, Tar. Bloke in a camping van offered me a cup of tea. I don't know if the camera caught that. In a nice white teapot. Now there you go. Top that. This descent of Holme Moss is well served on the channel, so I've only filmed a few bits and pieces. Keep the running time down. So we're dropping down. Bit of a crosswind, heading towards Woodhead. Bleaklow Hill in the background. Starting the Woodhead, over the reservoir. Let's get this over with. Windscar Reservoir on the left. Ooh. Crosswinds. Blimey, that nearly got me. It's a southeasterly. That switch then got me. Aye aye. Woo. That's the tail end of Windscar Reservoir on the left. Bit of a dip, and then climbing up there where that yellow bonnet truck is, takes me in the direction of Heydedge. Not too far from Heydedge now. I've had a few people asking, what do I do for food and drink on these rides? Well, as a rough guide, in these kind of temperatures, what I call medium to warm, I sort of think in terms of 300 ml per hour. Today I've put 1.5 ml, 2 bottles on the bike, so I should technically have enough fluid for 5 hours, and I'm hoping to be back before that. Pulling away now from Holme and its satellites, heading up towards the Ford Inn and Wessenden. Another big climb. It's featured countless times in the opposite direction on the channel, but I don't think I've ever videoed from the Ford Inn to Greenfield in Saddleworth. Should hopefully get a nice view today down into the reservoirs. Not promising anything though. No refunds will be given. That's past the Ford Inn. There's a road right, goes to Meltham. Road left, I did last year, it takes you to Digley Reservoir, gives you an alternate route for Holme Moss. Straight on for us, Wessenden Head is calling. Still climbing, it's a long one. On the left, if I can just tilt a little bit, Holme Moss sitting over there. I don't think my torso twisting is quite up to that. Peak National Park. Brilliant. My second ride in shorts this year. Yesterday was the first one. My first ride in sunscreen. I had to find it. Doesn't exactly get used that often. Problem this morning, in the valleys there's plagues of greenfly, and with the sunscreen on my arms, the greenfly were acting as flypaper, coated, something from a Cronenberg movie. So we're dropping down a sky road, really awkward crosswinds. Hopefully there should be some good panorama around now. looking down towards Duffstones and the reservoir, all the hill laid out, sites of an old quarry up there on the hillside. Marvellous. Grates on the left, I'm seeing wide. So we're into Delph, sharp left, steep coming up Grange Road. Here we go. Hey, that's an unfit gear. Roughly the halfway point on Grange Road. I'm never quite sure if this part is just an easing of gradient or it's actually downhill. Doesn't last long, but it's most welcome. Brief respite, now we start climbing again. I looked on an OS map and this gets an arrow for the bottom section and an arrow in a few hundred yards. Now, in the old days, an arrow was generally anything between about 12-13% up to maybe 20%. I'm trying to think. They always used to put 2 arrows on things like Fleet Moss, and that's a bona fide 25%. Par crash, 2 arrows. But I think 1 arrow runs all the way up to 18 to 20. Descending now from Grange Bar to Denshaw. It was last Thursday coming down here that I hit some kind of debris. I don't know, it was a piece of metal bar or I don't know, but there was such a bang, I thought my back tyre had blown. It was my saddle shell just cracked in half. And I had to ride home some nearly 18 miles, at least all the hills, out of the saddle. What a palaver. So this is the last major climb of the day. The old Buckstone's in ahead. Buckstone's rocks either side of the road, and depending on the width of the lens, we might catch a glimpse of Holme, Moss and Co. to the right. From the junction, the Buckstones junction, it's about 15 miles home for me, which is going to make this ride about 67, which is more or less what I thought. You know, I look at the time and I think, oh good grief, in the old days I could do the 2-loop Holme Moss, the 85 miler in this time. But then you let it settle and you think, well, just a minute, don't worry about that. This is a great ride. It's a superb day, amazing sights every mile, and it's just that sense of, I was going to say floating through landscape, but I've not done a lot of floating today. But still, you're moving through landscape, integration, and I think that for me and for many of us is far more important than going down to the 2nd and 3rd decimal place on average speed. Into the final furlong or two. It's going to be just over 67 miles, I think. And yeah, what a 67 miles. Traffic last half hour has been horrendous. I've lost count of the times it's been stop, start, foot down, shuffle a bit, temporary lights. Oh dear me. Everybody's got the windows down, so I've been treated to the, well, every genre of music you can think of, except the ones that I like. Right, super duper edition of It's Crackin' Flags clipping in. See you very soon for another one. Back out on the Yorkshire roads. Bye bye.